qualify at 5 Eastern. On trackside, Carl Edwards and Kevin Harvick join us. And make sure you catch Dave Despain on assignment Talladega. The race is on again here in practice. I misspoke a moment ago. This practice actually 1 hour 15 minutes, followed by a 1 hour practice. See Martin Truex Jr. in the 1 car. On the high side, his teammate Juan Pablo Montoya. Right behind him, and it's David Stremme. On the bottom side, you see the line just break up. Jimmy Johnson now moves to the high side.
Now, we see Joe Nemechek sitting on pit road here. I think we need to go back and make sure everyone understands the schedule and the agenda here. I mentioned it briefly that it's an impound race weekend. We have 44 cars here. We only have 1 car that's going to go home. The reason you're seeing these big drafting packs is because you pretty much have to race what you qualify. Not even a worry for the top 35 guys, but for those go or go home guys, if you don't think you quite have the speed, what you've got to do is work on qualifying runs, at least some qualifying runs during these practice sessions, because you get 2 practices a day, you qualify tomorrow, NASCAR impounds a car, and that's the way you're going to start the race. So we'll see a lot of we'll see some of the top 35 just seeing how fast they can go, but it's the go or go homers that are worried about their qualifying run.
And we've said this before, and we'll repeat it. Take a look at the speeds here, and they're not real indicative of who's fast and who's not. It's really, Larry, who can get the cars more comfortable.
And that's all they're looking for. They're just looking how fast they can go in the draft, how the car drives, and you've got what you've got as far as qualifying.
So Bob Dillner standing by with Clint Boyer.
And what he has right now is a bent-up race car. Still no determination of whether or not they're going to go to the backup. But I know you're helpless at that point, but what'd you see in front of you?
Yeah, they just were 3 or 4 wide. Somebody checked up, had trouble. I saw tires smoke, and the 99 just stopped. I just barely got into him, and the 96 drilled me and spun us out. But, I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. That's Talladega, you know. You love it or hate it. Today we hate it.
Clint Boyer, at least he keeps a smile here. Actually, the car now, guys, is going through some of the inspection process, and we'll go over there with our cameras in a second. I just spoke to Shane Wilson. He said they're going to bring that car through what we call the crate or the claw to see how bad that car has been.
There's no question with only 2 practice sessions, if you feel like you know, that's their best bullet. That's their best bullet for Talladega. You don't want to just give up the ship and unload a backup car if you think there's a possibility you can get that car back ready to go.
Yeah, like you say, Larry, they've done a lot of work on it, and you only got a limited amount of time here, even if you could unload your backup and get ready, which I'm sure that everybody's ready to do that, because here at Talladega, you've always got to expect the unexpected, and getting 1-4 up in practice is not enough.
Jeff, when this race car was debuted, the theory was you could take a car from Martinsville, you know, raced on the short track, to Talladega, but I'm curious, how much specialization is there now that this race car has evolved?
I am glad you asked that question, because I talked to Jimmy Maycar, who's kind of like the director of competition for Joe Gibbs Racing, and I said, Jimmy, you know, where you are at today with this new car, is the wind tunnel kind of like obsolete? He said, oh, no. We spend a lot of time tweaking on those cars, trying to find little bits, because he said, you know, we're kind of like limited on horsepower. We're limited on so many different things, Jeff, that is still an area that we're finding. Even though we thought we'd be maxed out here after a year and a half working with this new car, we're not nowhere near done. So, no, they're finding things. So what you have here at Talladega is a lot different than what you have at Martinsville. Can you race a Martinsville car here? Yes. Can you win with it? Probably not. You can be in the pack, but you're going to be at the back of the pack, I think, today. I think the guys have finally figured out you can work on these cars and make them better. As we see them right now going 3 wide, 4 wide again. I mean, Larry, what about you? If I was a crew chief, it's kind of like, can you not find a better place than that to run?
Yeah, this is getting exactly like it was when we had that last little episode. You know, one thing that I am anxious, and I have no reason to believe it won't be the same as the spring. I know Mike and Daryl and I sat up here in this booth, and we were appalled in the spring at how 2 cars could hook up and just pick up 7, 8, 9 miles per hour, which is what happened with Keselowski and Edwards. A little smaller plate change. I'm anxious to see if that's still going to be a factor. I think it will be, but I'm anxious to see if that will be a factor come Sunday.
I think it's going to wind up being probably more of a factor even now, because I think that's going to be one of the key things to be able to move to the front, is finding the right dance partner that can make that happen.
On board with Jimmy Johnson, drafting his teammate Mark Martin in that 5 car. Stay with us. Lots of excitement here at Talladega. Side by side and nose to tail.